6 signs he's afraid of losing you. All right, let's imagine this. You're in a relationship, and while things aren't really terrible and super bad, something feels, just a little bit different, a little bit off, a little bit not quite ideal. He starts to become a little bit more distant, less engaged, and you're starting to feel like you're pulling your teeth to just keep this connection alive and going. It's very subtle at first. It's like a shift in tone or a lack of effort, but the signs are there if you know where to look. So today we want to dive into these signs that he's about to break up with you, so you can recognize them and protect your hearts and prepare yourself emotionally for what's potentially about to come. First, he starts avoiding conversations about the future. Once upon a time, he couldn't stop talking about all the things you want to do together: vacations, birthdays, these silly dreams about adopting a dog or, anything else. But now, radio silence. If he's suddenly dodging any type of conversation about next month, next year, maybe next week even, or anything beyond that, like, it's a sign he's emotionally distancing himself. This isn't just about like him being busy. It's about no longer seeing you as part of his future, as part of the future for the relationship. So you want to pay attention to his responses, because if he's vague, dismissive, or outright like really avoids any type of plans or making plans even, it's time to ask yourself, why is this the case? What has changed? Am I creating this in my mind, or is there really some truth in here? The second point, suddenly is like super, super busy. Yes, work can get hectic at time. And if he has a good argument and good reasoning why it's so busy, maybe it's like a specific time of the year that it gets super busy at work, or maybe his friends need him a little bit more. Sure, that can be. But if he's suddenly into a new hobby that takes up all of his time, whatever the excuse, he really maybe starts to pull away a little bit. Well, life, yes, as I mentioned, does get busy. Relationships thrive on prioritization. If he's constantly too busy for date nights, for phone calls, or even a quick coffee, it's a sign his focus has shifted somewhere else. And here's the harsh truth. When someone values you, they're making time for you. If he's not making time for you, it's because he's choosing not to do that. And that's the hard pill to swallow, because ideally, obviously, we want someone that we like, that they're like prioritizing us too. If that's not the case, it can be painful.
Ladies, stop chasing men. Even when he pulls back or loses interest, or you feel like he's slipping away from you, what you do in that moment can make all the difference between him feeling like you just like all the other women he's ever met, or it can make him realize and feel you're so unique and special, and exactly the type of woman he wants something real with, something he wants to build with, causing him to chase you, to invest in you, and prove to you that he is the right man for you. There's this 12-word text message that you can send to a man that gets his attention almost immediately and makes him realize that it was a mistake to pull away from you in the first place. If you want to find out what that 12-word text message is, then I highly recommend you check out this brand new video that I created for you. I linked it in the description below. Just click the link, and now let's go back to the video.
Then we have the third one. He stops fighting for the relationship. That's a big one. Arguments are never fun, but they're part of every healthy relationship. They show that both people care enough to work through these issues and grow together. But when he stops caring, stops engaging in disagreements, when he says like, whatever, shrugs things off or refuses to discuss any type of problems, it's a sign that he's emotionally already checked out. This indifference isn't about like keeping the peace. It's about avoiding effort. He is no longer invested in resolving any of these conflicts. It's because he's no longer invested in the relationship. Then we have the fourth one. Also a very good one. He acts more distant emotionally and physically. You used to text all day, share everything, and cuddle up, every chance you got. Now, conversations are kind of surface level. His hugs feel like half-hearted, and you're lucky if he even notices when you've like dressed up for him or did something else that's very beautiful and nice. Emotionally and physically being distanced, often goes very much hand in hand. So when he's pulling back in any of these areas, it's a sign he's disconnecting. You might catch yourself wondering if he's even there anymore. Even when he's like sitting right next to you, you wondering is like, where is he? Like, I don't feel him, I don't see him, he's not really present, he's not there. all are really good signs that you should pay attention to. The fifth one, he's overly polite and formal. This one's a sneaky but telling. If he starts talking to you like you're a coworker instead of a partner, overly polite, avoiding terms of like endearment, or it's sounding rehearsed, it's because he's already emotionally withdrawing and he's just like playing the game at this point. Maybe he's not even aware of it himself. This shift in tone is often a like precursor to a breakup. And in that way, it's like his way of creating emotional distance. Consciously or not, like I said, makes no difference at the end of the day, but he's literally preparing himself to end things. So yeah, here are the signs that will kind of at least give you an indicator that someone is potentially going to break up with you. If these behaviors sound familiar, it's important to face them heads on. Ignoring these signs won't stop the inevitable, but addressing them might give you clarity or even a chance to reconnect. And here's the deal. Relationships require effort from both sides. If he's pulling away, ask yourself if he's worth chasing, or if it's time to just let him go, let him free, set yourself free. Maybe that's not the right relationship in the first place anymore, and you weren't willing to look at that piece either. So, have you been in a situation like this before? Yeah? Or maybe you've been the one who's like emotionally withdrawing and moving away. What did you do in those cases? So if you can identify that for yourself, you also have a pretty good indicator what you will find in others. So as always, please drop it in the comments. What do you think? Are these those important 4 signs? Are there other ones? And subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you liked it, obviously. I hope you did. And there's more videos to come for you, as always.